what I'm saying is, to get this neutral wrist, to get the thumb to be able to clear the side at all so you can just walk, otherwise you literally physically can't without dropping your shoulders, because the collarbone or clavicle comes down and out, or up and in. It's just bone to bone on either end. There's no possible opinion to it, like work out to try to get better posture or something. There's only one way that bones connect in the human being, in the universal human design. It's always the exact same. Always meaning every generation of human being to ever live. It's universal, eternal, permanent truth. Watch this. The thumbs push, the fingers pull. The thumbs push down, the fingers pull up. And it's just mechanics. That's your neutral wrist. So, you know, sleeve cuffs. We talk about sleeve cuffs needing to be off the wrist, long sleeves, you know, the importance of even short sleeves and keeping short sleeves short. Those are 2 video titles under In The Image Clothing Company's main site here currently, as of the 17th of July 2026, today's date, that I personally filmed as the founder and leader for life of In The Image Clothing Company, me, Evan Strong. But long sleeves as well, you know, there's a video here currently, at least, under the main site of In The Image Clothing Company, as of the 17th of July 2026, titled, How Sleeve Cuffs Affect Body Mechanics. And you have to have your sleeve cuffs up off of your wrists, because you have to get your wrist back like this, with the thumbs pushing down and the fingers pulling up. The back of the hand has to be able to come out a little bit away from the body, just to be able to clear the legs with the thumbs. Otherwise you do not, and you can't even walk. So yeah, you have to have your sleeve cuffs up off of your wrist, you know, just right above your wrist, so you can actually move your hand next to your own leg. Otherwise, Earth's vertical gravity pull, pulling the pendulum of the hand straight down from the other end of the shoulder, pulling us down into good posture. Truly, there's only one way the human body could ever possibly work, as long as we don't alter it. Yikes. I know I'm finger pointing with my words. I get it. I understand. I know. I really do. I'm aware. I am. Truly. Anyway, sleeve cuffs that are too long, you'll never possibly just be able to have a normal shoulder height. What do I normally do? Oh, this. Yeah, I was doing it earlier, but this up and internal rotation, down and external rotation is essentially the same as a neutral wrist cocking back at the hands so the thumbs clear the sides, versus the wrist coming in and dropping the shoulders down so the hands hit the legs. I mean, you can't keep your elbows straight, vertical with Earth's vertical gravity pull, with your hand in, because you have to clear your side with your hand. But now, in order to get the arm straight down with gravity, you'd have to try to bend the arm. It's impossible otherwise. It's just bones that are immovable by themselves, only moving where they connect at the joints of bones. Okay. There's no possible opinion to it. There's only one way the human body could ever work. I don't have a breakthrough. I just have a deep understanding on the anatomy of the human being. But the thing is, you can have an understanding of the anatomy of the entire body deeper than I currently have as the founder and leader for life of In The Image Clothing Company, me, Evan Strong, as of the 17th of July 2026, today's date. But it doesn't matter how much you understand how it should work if you don't know why it's not just working. This is the point, and this is the truth. Look at the animals if you don't understand this with human beings. But God designed the body to work. All the animals out there, their bodies just work. They just do what they do when they walk and run and just live their lives. Human beings have all these different posture problems, posture patternings, chronic problems in the body, where there's only one way the human being's bones connect from birth till death. I mean, we're still forming until we're full grown, essentially, but there's just this universal human design that only could ever possibly have physical motion at the locations where the bones connect to each other. But we have this thing that animals don't have. Okay, I'm saying that just so you can get a perspective on the truth, like an understanding of how you can see this if you don't see it yet. Speaking of animals, there's a goose, right? It made noise earlier in the video as well, but yeah, there's a river just right here. What I'm saying is, clothing, the literal wording, I mean, it's not like this view on fashion or this view on liking clothing in any way. You don't have to. You don't have to even care to want to try to start to care about clothing at all. But you have to be intentional about the only thing physically placed on your only physical body. The literal word of clothing, it's just in the way if it's in the way. If you've got something oversized, an oversized top, it's just in the way of your arms hanging down next to your own sides with Earth's vertical gravity pull, and then you'll never be able to possibly, I'm talking literal mathematically possibly, no possible opinion to it, it will be physically impossible for you to hang your arms just straight vertical with Earth's vertical gravity pull and have this video's title on the 17th of July 2026 under In the Image Clothing Company's main site happen, where the title is, the thumbs push down, the fingers pull up, right? This neutral wrist, it will be impossible for you to have if you have an oversized top and a gap between your elbow or any of your arm in its entirety and your own side, because you can't just swing your arms next to your own sides with gravity just pulling them straight down if they hit into something. But if they hit into something and have to go out to the side, your wrist comes in, because the only way you can have your wrist actually back is if your elbow straightens, because all the muscles from the fingertips stem clear up here at the elbow before they can ever get to the fingertips. And so the elbow joint has to have its full extension and contraction. Well, yeah, fully extended and fully closed at the joint of the elbow for the hand to be able to have its full motion. Otherwise, it's just limited because everything's just on an angle. The body's a kinetic chain. It's all connected. Everything in the human being has its own individual role it plays, and it would be impossible for the hand to play the same exact function as the knee, or the foot to play the same exact function as something absurd, the hip. Just to say that everything is very specifically shaped in the human being. It grows by itself, right? Designed in the image of God, there's only one way the human body could ever possibly physically, mechanically operate. And so we can't place clothing onto it. We get into chronic patterning with any imbalances in clothing whatsoever. You know, clothing not fitting correct, staying centered, and being made in all the ways we can from 100% natural materials. You know, and just no stretch, because muscles only pull together. That's the only way they could ever possibly do any kind of physical work or motion. And stretch in clothing is just new tens of years ago from today's date, the 17th of July 2026, but just this time period, right? It's an invention of human beings that got started to put into clothing. Yeah. And yeah, stretch goes the opposite direction of the only way the muscles could ever possibly work, which is pulling. So anyway, just having clothing be proper, we discussed it extremely detailed, thoroughly, clearly under In the Image Clothing Company here. We have well over 600 videos as of today's date on our main site alone. One of our fours, this one here, of In the Image Clothing Company, with our slogan being allowing the body to work. Yeah, we give a lot of free modifications in clothing to allow the body to work. And, you know, in all the ways and every part of the body, anything we're literally clothing it with at all. And so what happens is, you know, oversized clothing without joints of material of clothing meshing with joints of body parts, the body gets damaged. And, you know, then you don't have this video's title specifically, right? The thumbs push down, the fingers pull up on the 17th of July 2026 under In the Image Clothing Company's main site here. Well, that's the thing, like I was saying, right? The shoulders come up in internal rotation or down in external rotation. Like we could bend the elbows, point the thumbs straight up, and then rise the shoulders, an internal rotation would happen in the two bones in the forearm, the radius and the ulna, from the wrist up to the elbow. And then drop the shoulders, an external rotation would happen in the two bones in the forearm, the radius and the ulna. These two bones just rotating over each other. What is all this noise? I don't even know. But we could also just show it with the neutral wrist, you know, with the shoulders at their neutral height. That's the elbow at the natural waist. Above the hip bones, but below the lowest ribs, because there's only one way the human body could ever possibly work, and there's no possible opinion to it that could ever possibly matter, not myself included, if I had one on it. It's measurable mathematical truth. It's eternal, designed in the image of an unchanging God, Jesus the Christ. Here's your clothing company, the 17th of July, 2026, in the Image Clothing Company's main site here. Hello, son. The thumbs push down, the fingers pull up.